biggest news items of our first hour was something we expected, but it has now happened. The Dallas Cowboys placing the exclusive franchise tag on Dak Prescott. What more can you tell us about Dak's status in Dallas?
That's right. It's a $33 million tag for Dak Prescott, exclusive tag, which means, as it sounds, he is exclusively theirs. No team can talk to him. No team can jump in and try to sign him and give the Cowboys 2 first-round picks. They don't want 2 first-round picks. They want Dak Prescott, and that's exactly what they got. They also want to lock Prescott up to a long-term deal. They've had a lot of talks. The last offer came at the Combine. Nothing has materialized yet. The Cowboys are going to keep working on that and see if they can do it by the July 15th deadline. Meanwhile, they are trying now to lock up Amari Cooper, their star receiver. They can only use the tag on one guy. They got about an hour to keep Cooper off the free agent market, and sounds like it's going to be close if Dallas gets it done.
And Ian, some news on Kirk Cousins as well. Maybe not quite as expected, but the Vikings are planning to keep him around.
The Vikings are keeping him around. They just agreed to terms on a 2-year extension for Kirk Cousins, which is interesting because it's a day after the 49ers recommitted to Jimmy Garoppolo, and now, of course, Cousins and the Vikings both recommit to each other. As far as what the deal is, it's 2 years, $66 million on the extension. So in all, it's 3 years for $96 million. $61 million is guaranteed at signing. That's basically the next 2 years. And an additional $35 million is guaranteed for injury. But if he's on the roster at the beginning of the 2021 season, which he's going to be, then that becomes fully guaranteed as well.
Okay, now less than an hour until we get to the franchise tag deadline. We're already seeing some more of those tags being placed, which includes Cincinnati. Tom Pelissero, what's the deal with A.J. Green?
The Bengals informed A.J. Green a short time ago they are placing the franchise tag on him. That puts him at a 1-year salary of roughly $18 million, which is actually about a 50% raise over the $12 million that A.J. Green made to not play football last season while dealing with an ankle injury. Now, my understanding is the Bengals placed this tag with the intention of keeping Green, trying to work out a long-term deal. But it remains to be seen whether Green has interest in being part of a rebuild that likely would surround a quarterback taken at number 1 overall, potentially LSU's Joe Burrow. Green has dealt with injuries over the past couple of seasons, but certainly has shown, even at this stage in his career, he remains a dangerous weapon. Bengals placing value on that, even though he didn't play last season, locking in that $18 million tag for 2020.
And Tom, amidst a flurry of moves in Atlanta, releasing some players today, Desmond Trufant, a one-time Pro Bowler at cornerback, among them. What more can you tell us there?
Desmond Trufant dealt with some injuries last season, still had 4 interceptions. He's a former Pro Bowl player, a guy that the Falcons extended, but he was due $10.75 million in 2020, none of it guaranteed. Falcons did explore potential trade opportunities. Instead, though, my understanding is they plan to release Trufant sometime this week. That'll probably occur after the new league year begins, allowing them to spread the cap hit that they will take, free up more short-term cap space for 2020.
Okay, back to you now, Mike Garafolo, as we get to another franchise tag. Derrick Henry with the Tennessee Titans. What else is going on there around the league now?
He gets tagged. Should be $12 million in change on that tag as they try to work out a long-term deal for Henry. The top of the running back market is above that, so it'll be interesting to see if they can get something done and where it comes in. Had over 300 carries last year, and a lot of teams might say, okay, maybe time to look elsewhere. No, Titans believe that he's got plenty of tread left on the tires. They like what they did last season, obviously, but with bringing back Ryan Tannehill and Henry, trying to keep things, they say, hey, we were so close to the Super Bowl. Let's keep things moving, make a couple other tweaks elsewhere on the roster. We feel like we are moving in the right direction, and this is still the way that you win football games in this league, with a power running game and a power runner, the way that Henry has been able to do that. 2 other notes I want to throw out there from elsewhere around the league, by the way. One of them, and this is really interesting to me, Eric Flowers, 9th overall pick of the Giants years ago, goes to Jacksonville, then goes to Washington, becomes a guard in Washington last year. You're talking about a guy that flamed out with the Giants. I'm about telling you within the next couple of days, Eric Flowers is going to get a multi-year deal that might be pushing $10 million per season. This is a comeback story here for Flowers. He's about to cash in. And then we'll stay on the offensive line. According to me and Ian Rappaport, Rick Wagner the tackle who was a big winner in free agency a couple of years ago when he went to the Lions. He now moves from the Lions to the Packers. He was cut the other day by Detroit, so he will sign with the Packers to stay in the NFC North. We have the numbers on those. I just can't find them right now.
And Mike, that's a deal that can be that can become official now, right? Because he was released.
Yes, he was released, so he doesn't have to wait till the start of the league year. You see some of these guys who are released, even guys that are getting cut today. Devontae Freeman, he can now sign before the start of the league year. I mean, we're so close to the negotiating window right now that even the guys who aren't technically supposed to agree and finalize deals are going to agree and finalize deals.
I was just trying to buy
2
time
years,
for you to
$11
find
million
those
for
numbers.
Rick Wagner with the Packers. Mike, I'll help you out there. I have no part in this scoop. This was Ian and Mike, but I'm here. I'm a giver, really. I just want us all to win.
You guys all work together beautifully. Thanks very much. Our information gathering triumvirate right there. Appreciate you guys back here in studio as we welcome now Jane Slater back to free agency frenzy here. Jane, last time we talked, it hadn't happened yet. Now it has. The Cowboys placing the exclusive franchise tag on Dak Prescott, their quarterback. So how does this all affect the Cowboys' plans now?
Well, now, obviously, the first order of business is to try and get Amari Cooper done, because if they don't now have that tag to use for him, which means he becomes a free agent at 10:59 Central Time here in Texas. So, and I've talked about, the NFC East, the Eagles certainly need a wide receiver. Would that be a place for him to go? He certainly has all the leverage right now. But as it pertains to Dak Prescott, not entirely shocking given the situation as it pertained to some of these conversations. Stephen Jones told us back in September they tabled the talks because both sides were sort of digging in on their points of contention as it applied to a long-term deal. And then even though there were proposals exchanged this week, and I was told that this last deal the Cowboys offered was characterized as above the golf deal, although I would caution putting that out there too much in the sense that I was never able to get it clarified in what way. Todd France, his agent, apparently then came back to the table, offered another proposal, and then they just couldn't make this deal work ahead of this deadline today. So they use the exclusive franchise tag, which means other teams can't talk to him. And now they have until July 15th to try and get a long-term deal done. If not, they've got to table the discussion. The hope is that Dak signs that franchise tag, and then you can try and get another deal done at the end of the regular season. It is interesting to point out, though, he's been playing for bottom of the market money the last 4 years. If you look at what we did, we were doing the calculations on that. If he plays on the franchise tag this year, he'll make more than 6 times this year than he has in his entire career. Not bad for a guy that was fourth string on the depth chart when he got signed by the Cowboys as a 4th-round pick. Still, the argument that Todd France and his agent are making, look what he's been able to accomplish for you the last couple of years. He's done everything right. You've certainly overpaid players in the past. Why not pay him what the market bears for Dak Prescott? So I don't see Todd France and them letting up on that anytime soon.
Right.
The news that we're going to hear today is likely something on Amari Cooper.
Right. And again, important to note, the exclusive franchise tag means that he can play in only Dallas for 2020, but it does not mean that they cannot still negotiate on a long-term deal. They can do that until mid-July. Jane Slater, thanks very much. Busy day for you as you follow the Cowboys. And look, Dak Prescott, highest passer rating in his third highest passer rating in his first 4 seasons in the Super Bowl era, looking up only at Russell Wilson and the Hall of Famer, our pal, Kurt Warner. Okay, now we welcome in Willie McGinnis and Brian Baldinger back here with us on this, our second hour of free agency frenzy. Let's talk again about Dak Prescott and the Cowboys here. Baldy, look, they can still sign him to a long-term deal, but do you feel like they will regret not doing this right now or in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I do. I thought even last summer that, they signed the running back, and, I'm nothing against Ezekiel Elliott, but I thought they should have signed the quarterback first, and then you build around the quarterback. That's my philosophy and how to build a team. But I think every day that goes by where they don't sign him to a long-term deal, the guaranteed money and the contract is only going to get inflated, especially with the CBA done and what the salary cap is going to be. They're just going to keep having to pay him more and more. And the fact that, both Jared Goff and Carson Wentz deals got done way before free agency ever entered the picture. I'm thinking Dak can sit back right now and try to decide if he wants to sign the franchise tag or not. But he certainly, as I said earlier, has all the leverage in this deal right now. They changed the coach in Mike McCarthy, the head coach now, presumably to help Dak Prescott's career and to, elevate him to another status when you get in crunch time in games and then to the playoffs where he can win big games.
And Baldy, I agree. I think Dak is in a great situation, and I think the tag was only put on him to buy time and to understanding that we do want to move forward with a long-term agreement.